Nami was only 16, and the beauty of a pair of silver earrings was far more important to her than all of her grandmother's warnings. Her grandmother had always whispered, "There are threads in the body that must not be broken. If you break them, you will see darkness." But Nami didn't listen. On a cold midnight, using a needle she had disinfected over a lighter flame, she pierced her left ear in the eerie solitude of the bathroom. The short, wet sound of the skin tearing in that midnight silence was horrifyingly loud and unnatural. She put the earring in and tried to believe that all she had done was create a small piece of beauty. But a few weeks later, she realized the deed was far from finished. Her ear piercing never fully healed. She always felt a deep, irritating itch during her boring classes, a sensation like a small thread was being pulled from the inside. The feeling became so intense that Nami could no longer concentrate on the math teacher's lesson. Apologizing, she left the classroom and headed to the deserted, lower-floor restroom. She stood before the cracked, dirty mirror. She scratched her earlobe with her fingertip, and in that moment, she felt something cold and unusual stick to her finger. Panicked, she turned on her mobile phone and directed the light towards her ear. The thread was there. A very thin, delicate fiber, about a centimeter long, emerged from the piercing hole. It was neither hair nor lint. It was a dull, opaque white, with a texture like a small tendon or a plant root left to rot, cold and strange. Every time she blinked, she felt the small white fiber shift, sensing it was directly connected to her eye's movement. Nami tried with all her might to push the fiber back in. It wouldn't budge. With a heart full of dread, she gently grasped it with her fingertips and pulled it, intending to remove the nuisance. To her horror, the white thread came out of her ear, and came out, and came out. No matter how much Nami pulled, more of the fiber was revealed. The thread never ended, an infinite, silken texture that seemed to draw its substance from the deep core of her skull. Madness consumed Nami. She looked at the white thread, which was now piling up on her school collar, with wide, terrified eyes. Driven to the brink of collapse, she remembered the small nail clippers she kept in her makeup bag. She had to cut this terrifying, endless connection. With trembling tweezers, she grasped the thread firmly and brought the clippers close to the piercing. With a foolish, desperate bravery born of terror, she clipped it. There was no sound of skin tearing. Instead, she heard a dry, deep snap sound from inside her head, a sound as if something vital and taut had been violently detached from its primary anchor. The pain wasn't instant and brutal. It began with a cold, slow drag that started at her ear and rushed with unbelievable speed right behind her left eye socket. A muffled scream broke in her throat. The clippers and the severed thread fell from her grasp. A sudden darkness fell over her. Nami pressed her hands to her face, and when she removed them, the room seemed lit from only one direction. She tried to look with her left eye, but there was nothing left. Absolute void. The room spun around her, and she collapsed onto the cold, stone floor of the dirty restroom. Hours later, Nami woke up to the beeping of the machines beside her. The sharp smell of alcohol and disinfectant filled her nostrils. She was in a hospital. A tired-looking nurse in white scrubs leaned over her. Nami tried to speak, but her voice failed her. She could only reach up with a shaking hand and touch her left eye. There was no bandage. In horror, she closed her right eye, trying to see with the left. There was nothing. The same deep, absolute darkness she had seen before fainting was still there. Shivers ran through her entire body. With her right eye, she looked around the room. A short segment of the white thread, now stained with a thick, clear fluid, lay on the white sheet beside her left ear. The nurse noticed her awakening. "Calm down, Nami. They found you at school. It seems like severe nervous strain." Nami interrupted the nurse. Her voice was weak and choked. My left eye." The nurse, trying to maintain a calm expression, said, "The doctors are the most experienced. But unfortunately, there is deep nerve damage. Your optic nerve has been severed." Nami did not cry. She only stared at the white ceiling with her one good eye, knowing that the price of her vanity was the eternal blindness of one eye. The worst part was knowing that no matter how often she cut the thread, that horrifying, infinite bond would continue to feed out from her piercing, and this terror would stay with her until the last day of her life.